Why devaluation cannot be successful always? Or what are the conditions for the successful devaluation? Devaluation is an intentional effort of the government or monetary authority to increase export and reduce import. This is initiated to reduce the trade deficit of the nation. This is to save the nation from trade deficit, huge trade deficit, and this is to improve trade balance. This is done by reducing the domestic currency's value in terms of foreign currency. So now let's look at when won't be the devaluation successful, or when devaluation will be unsuccessful. So I have listed a few points. The first one is less elasticity of import and export demand. If elasticity of import and export demand is less, devaluation will not be successful. Why does it happen? If the elasticity is less, devaluation will not increase the export and import adequately. If the export is not increased adequately, if the export is increasing, if the export is not increasing proportionately or more than proportionately, then the devaluation will not back desirable result. That means the trade deficit will not be reduced. First one is less elasticity of import demand and export demand. For example, takes a case of petroleum import. Petroleum import is India's largest import item. So, and its elasticity, it's a necessary item for the time being. That means when India devalued its currency significantly, then what will happen to the import of petroleum? We cannot, we have to import petroleum at any cost, as we just produce 1/5 of its total petroleum consumption in the country. Second one is less market access. This is the second reason for the unsuccessful devaluation. For the successful devaluation, what we need is high market access. The devaluing countries should be accessed, can be accessed by other nations, by other markets. Otherwise, the devaluation will not bring desirable result. What is the desirable result? Increase in export and reduce in import. So whenever the nation is not accessible to the outer world, the devaluation will not lead to increase in export, even if the currency value is competitive. Even if the export is competitive, we need to find the market. That's most important. For example, the case of North Korea, is almost an isolated country, and if devaluation is done by North Korea, then it cannot improve the trade balance, it cannot increase the export, it cannot maximize the export, as it is not open to the other parts of the world. Third one is poor production capacity. The devaluing nation should be able to produce the commodities which are demanded by the outer world after devaluation. After devaluation, the export will become competitive, export will become cheap. So the nation should be able to capitalize that benefit. So it need to have adequate production capacity in terms of capital, in terms of labor, in terms of other inputs. Fourth one is a domestic price instability. So this is the reason for unsuccessful devaluation, and for the successful devaluation we need domestic price stability. So this is devaluation is associated with the price of the current commodity. When devaluation is initiated, the domestic price of the commodity, the foreign price of the domestic commodity will be reduced, and it will become competitive. But when the devaluing nation is in trouble with continuous constant domestic price instability. Then when the price is increasing significantly in the devaluing nation, the export will reduce rather than increasing. So at the same time, similarly, import will increase rather than reducing the import after devaluation. So this is the just opposite of the desirable result of devaluation. So this is not good for the devaluing nation. The devaluing nation should ensure the price stability in the domestic economy. Fifth reason for the unsuccessful devaluation is poor bilateral relations. The devaluing nation should have warm bilateral relations with other nations of the world. So without which the export cannot be maximized, international trade cannot happen smoothly. So we need warm bilateral relations. It should not be weak. For example, the case of North Korea, it doesn't have better bilateral relation with the other nations of the world. So when North Korea is devaluing its currency, it cannot maximize the export, as it doesn't have warm relation with many nations of the world. For example, take the case of US-China trade war. It is restrictive trade practice by both nations of the both huge nations of the world, United States and China. So nations should have better bilateral relations with other nations. Another one is huge external debt burden. So this is a sixth reason for the unsuccessful devaluation. For the successful devaluation, the nation should not be in debt burden, any type of external debt burden. It should be able to reduce the external debt burden. So why is this significant? So devaluation will increase the external value of the domestic currency. So it will increase the external debt burden, as we have to pay more after devaluation than before devaluation. We need to pay more after devaluation, as our currency's value in terms of foreign currency has decreased. So we have to pay more. For example, India and United States. So suppose India has some external debt burden in terms of United States dollar. So when India devalued its currency, Indian rupee, in terms of United States dollar, significantly by almost 5%. So suppose India experienced 5% devaluation in terms of United States dollar. So that means we have to pay 5% more in terms of our we have to service our external debt more than 5% after devaluation. So this is the extra burden of devaluation. This will bring a negative effect of devaluation. This is not desirable for the nation. Devaluation is not desirable for the nation which is in trouble of huge external debt burden. So devaluation should be backed by appropriate fiscal and monetary policies. This is much more important in any nation, any devaluing nation. So the devaluation should follow appropriate policies, appropriate fiscal policy and appropriate monetary policy. What are the inappropriate monetary and fiscal policies? More clearly, the policies should be expansionary. Both fiscal policy and monetary policy should not be expansionary in a devaluing nation. Whenever the policies are expansionary in a devaluing nation, it will bring negative impact on devaluation. Export will not rise, import will not reduce. So this will bring negative opposite result of devaluation. expansionary monetary policy is declared by the monetary authority or central bank of the devaluing nation. So what will happen next? Interest rate will come down, investment will increase, so it will promote inflation in the domestic economy. So inflation leads to increase in import rather than increase in export. The economy, the market with high price is better for selling, not for buying. This is the basic theory of the of this is the basic theory. And suppose the fiscal policies is also expansionary. It is injecting the money into the economy significantly. That means it will increase the income of the people, income of the economy will increase, so inflation will be the result. So inflation again will cause for a reduction in export and increase in import. So the policies after devaluation should be contractionary in order to bag the better result or the desirable result of devaluation. So these are the 7 reasons for the unsuccessful devaluation.